Greetings Adventures, I'm Lauren Gaming, and I'll be your guild advisor for this video. First of all, as you can tell from the title, this isn't going to be a traditional game news update or guide video. This one is a bit more on the fun side, at least from my perspective, because I'll be making some educated speculations on what the future content for DanMemo could be, based on the characters which have not yet been added as playable units, and the fact that the DanMachi movie, Heir of the Orion, and the second season are poised to be released next year. Concerning the second season, I don't really expect to see any new characters added into the game that are from the latter light novels of DanMachi until Season 2 is released. Waiting until the anime is released and then using the assets from the anime and adapting it into the game under story is what I assume is in the developers' plans. For a note of reference, the first season of DanMachi adapts the first 5 volumes of the DanMachi main series. The Sword Art Toria anime adapts volumes 1 through 4. Both of these anime are represented in the game through episodes Belle, Eyes, and Lufia in Story Quest. That being said, I expect that when the movie is released, we'll either see an event tie-in for the film with new versions of the characters that take prominent roles. Belle and Hestia are definitely a given, as well as that new blue-haired goddess. Hopefully, the movie gives us a new Welf, as he desperately needs some love. As for the second season and the novels that take place after Book 5, I don't expect the characters that are introduced in those novels to be introduced into the game until the anime reaches those points. However, there are some exceptions to that rule. Shakti made her debut into the novels of Volume 10, which has not been animated yet. But, since she's the captain of Ganesha Familia, who we have seen in-game, she was added with the Grand Day Eve event. Also, the Quest event we had a few months ago was actually light novel material that was an extra story included with Volume 4. Volume 4 was adapted as Episode 9 in DanMachi as well as introductory episode, but the anime skipped over adapting the Quest story and moved straight into Volume 5. Furthermore, as some of you might know, Episode Ryu did not have an anime adaptation to pull from either. Episode Ryu is its own standalone light novel, the start of a side series known as Familia Chronicle, which will in future installments detail the other characters in DanMachi outside of Belle and Loki Familia, who are focused upon in the main series and Sword Art Toria light novels. Fujino Omori-sensei, the author of the series that we love, has hinted in the afterword of Episode Ryu that Frey Familia would be the focus of the next installment in the Familia Chronicle series. So, with those exceptions out of the way, who could the future units be between now and the time when the movie and the second season are released next year? First off, let's go over characters we have already seen in the DanMachi story itself that are more likely to get their own playable units. This one should be obvious, but there's Lulune Lui, a level 3 Cyanthrope from Hermes Familia. She has a rather prominent side role in the Sword Art Toria series. In terms of screen time, she's probably seen as much or possibly even more than Amid in the anime. And Amid has 4 versions of herself in this game. If Lulune gets introduced as a playable character, I'd think she'd either be a physical or balanced unit, as she seems like the rogue type of adventurer. Out of all the characters we've seen before, I think Lulune is the most likely. Some other characters from Hermes Familia include Falgar Batros, seen in Sword Art Toria. He would most likely be a physical character. Then, we also have Meryl Tyr, the cute little powder mage. We could use more mage characters that aren't new versions of Lufia and Lily. There's also Thane, an elf from Hermes Familia. But I think him being added is rather unlikely, unless there's going to be some Hermes Familia type banner, with him included as a 3-star. Now that I think about it, Familia type banners would be an interesting concept. I've been mentioning Hermes Familia members, but let's not forget that there are other characters in Loki Familia that have character sprites made already. One of these characters is Anakitty Autumn, also known as Aki. This cute cat girl is actually one of the higher ranking adventurers in Loki Familia. She's level 4. Other notable level 4s you may know of are Ryu and Osvi, 2 characters that have many versions of themselves. If Aki does get a playable unit, she'll most likely be a physical or balanced character, and because she has a rather attractive character design, I would not be surprised to see additional versions of herself once released. The other character from Loki Familia with an in-game sprite is Line Arsh, a level 2. She's more of a support type of adventurer, so she would likely be a balanced or healer unit. Another possibility from Loki Familia is Alicia Forestlight, a level 4 elf mage. She is mentioned in Volume 4 of Sword Art Toria, which the anime adapted, but she did not receive a second of screen time. However, I'd like to think the possibility exists for her to be included into the game. The next time she is prominently featured in the novels is in Sword Art Toria Volume 6. I'm not sure how likely a Sword Art Toria Season 2 is, but that's not happening for quite some time. And if there is one, I hope it's a better adaptation of the source material than Season 1 was. I had some rather critical opinions on how Sword Oratoria was adapted. Long story short, read the light novels. Freya Familia has rather low representation in the game, Otter being the only adventurer from her Familia, with there being like 7 Freyas. But in Sword Oratoria, there's a prominent character that appears. In the anime, he makes a rather brief appearance, but one nonetheless. This was more impactful in the novel, but I digress. What I'm referencing is a scene where a group from Freya Familia is attacking Eyes while she's accompanying Belle and Hestia after a training session. The leader of this particular group in Freya Familia is Vana Freya, a level 6 adventurer. And a light spoiler for those curious about his background. Skip like 10 seconds or so if you don't want to hear this. He's also known as Alan Frommel, the brother of Anya, that klutzy level 4 cat waitress. If Vana Freya is made into a playable unit, he most definitely needs to be a physical attacker. I know a lot of people are wanting Ravis to be a playable character, but I personally don't see that happening since for the most part, only adventurers from the series are adventurers in the game. Hermes during the Kino's Journey collab event is a big exception. I would not mind seeing Ravis being added as a unit, but it wouldn't make much sense having her in town for the CP Town dialogues, but she would most definitely be a physical based character. There are some honorable mentions, but I highly doubt they'll be playable characters. I'm talking about Mord's companions, Guile and Scott. You'll definitely see the characters I mentioned earlier first before seeing these two knuckleheads. As for characters I can see us getting really soon, a unit based off the new Record Buster Reveria doesn't seem too unlikely. When Record Buster was first introduced, we got Supreme Reynatre with the Spring Devotion event. I'd love to see a new Reveria unit that is strictly a magic attacker, despite the fact that I'm a big fan of the Holy White Royal Reveria's design. The other content update I see us getting relatively soon is the second half of Episode Ryu. As you guys already know, the current Episode Ryu content in the game is only 3 chapters long. That only covers the first half of the Episode Ryu light novel. We got a whole second half of story to add into the game, and with that, a good possibility of new characters. I don't really consider this a spoiler since this is a general synopsis of what the second story is about, but this is just a light warning. The second half of Episode Ryu focuses on the time when Ryu, Chloe, and Lunar start working at the Hostess of Fertility. I'd like to see new units for all of them, but Ryu got hers with the casino story. Chloe is due for a better 4-star, but Lunar especially is awaiting her 4-star debut. And this would be the perfect opportunity for it. She's had a 3-star adventure unit from the children's event in the Japanese version of the game, but that's about it adventurer-wise. We've already seen her sprite form from the Grand Day event, so it's only a matter of time. The one thing I will not spoil about the second half of Episode Ryu is that we may see a new god or goddess unit, but I won't disclose who that would be. But I'm very excited for whenever the second half will come out, and that pretty much covers my future content and character speculation. If you're curious about the characters I mentioned in this video, be very careful when going to wiki sites, as you could be spoiled with regards to future plot points. What characters would you like to see added into the game? If you're going to name characters in future light novels, please be very careful with spoilers. I want this video to be rather friendly towards the anime and game-only players. I do encourage you guys to read the light novels though. They're amazing and definitely worth a read. So much so that I recommend starting from the beginning because of some content that was skipped over in the anime, Sword Oratoria being the most egregious case. If you guys have not already, you should definitely watch the story of the Midsummer Lover's Tale event if you haven't. It's absolutely hysterical, and you can tell the voice actors had a bunch of fun recording the lines for this event. So, if you've been skipping the story quest, definitely go into the story digest and give it a watch. I just love all the DanMachi characters. The movie and the second season can't come out soon enough. If you found this video helpful or informative, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel for more content. To stay updated on what I'm doing, follow me on Twitter and join my Discord for any questions and discussion. Continue enjoying your time adventuring in Aurario and the dungeon. This is Lorne Gaming, and I'm signing out.